Women who changed the world. Mary Kom, Dr. Padmavati, Sivramakrishna Iyer, Kamala, Sahoni, Kalpana Chala. Kom was born in Kagathai village, Moirang Lamkai in Churkhandpur district of rural Manipur in India. She came from a poor Kom family. Her parents, Mangtonpa Kom and Mangtakham Kom, were tenant farmers who worked in jam fields. She was the eldest of 3 children. She has a younger sister and brother. She hails from a Christian Baptist family. Kom studied at the Loktak Christian Model High School at Moirang up to her 6th standard and thereafter attended St. Xavier Catholic School, Moirang, up to Class 8. During this time, she took a good amount of interest in athletics, especially javelin and 400 meters running. It was at this juncture, Dinko Singh, a fellow Manipuri, returned from the 1998 Bangkok Asian Games with a gold medal. After completing Class 8, Kom moved to Adamjati High School, Imphal, for her schooling for Class 9 and 10, but was unable to pass the matriculation exam. Not wishing to reappear for them, she quit her school and gave her examination from NIOS, Imphal, and graduation from Churkhandpur College. In school, Kom participated in all types of sports including volleyball, football and athletics. It was the success of Dinko Singh that inspired her to switch from athletics to boxing in 2000. She started her training under her first coach K. Kasanamitai in Imphal when she was 15. She took the decision to leave her hometown to study at the Imphal Sports Academy. Thereafter, she trained under the Manipur state boxing coach M. Narjit Singh and Akuman Lampak. Kom kept her interest in boxing a secret from her father, himself an ex-wrestler, as he was concerned that boxing would hurt Kom's face and spoil her cha of mar. However, he learned of it when Kom's photo appeared in a newspaper after she won the state boxing championship in 2000. After 3 years, her father began Kom's pursuits in boxing as he grew convinced of her love of boxing. National Awards. Padmavibhushan, Sports, 2020, Padmabhushan, Sports, 2013, Major Dhyan Chand Kulratna Award, 2009, Padma Shri, Sports, 2006, Arjuna Award, Boxing, 2003. Padmavati was born to a barrister in Burma, Myanmar, on June 20, 1917. She had 3 brothers and 2 sisters. She received an MBBS degree from Rangoon Medical College, Rangoon, and later moved to London in 1949, where she received a FRCP from Royal College of Physicians, followed by FRCPE from Royal College of Physicians of Edinburgh. In her time in the United Kingdom, she worked at the National Heart Hospital, National Chest Hospital, and the National Hospital, Queen Square, London. Subsequently, after finishing her FRCP, she moved to Sweden for 3 months, where she took cardiology courses at the Southern Hospital. Meanwhile, she applied for fellowship at the Johns Hopkins Hospital, Baltimore, part of Johns Hopkins University, and was selected, and went on to study with noted cardiologist Helen Taussig, Indiana, 1952. She joined Harvard Medical School, Harvard University, where she studied under Paul Dudley White, a pioneer in modern cardiology. National Awards. Padmabhushan, 1967. Padmavibhushan, 1992. Achievements. Drive. Padmavati was the founder of the NHI Hospital, which was established in 1981 as a tertiary care modern heart hospital in Delhi with the first cardiac catheterization laboratory in the private sector in the Southern Hemisphere. In 1962, Dr. Padmavati had also founded the All India Heart Foundation. Kamala Sahoni, Nibhagat, was born on June 8, 1912 in Indore, Madhya Pradesh, India. Her father, Narayanrao Bhagvat, as well as her uncle, Madhavrao Bhagvat, were chemists and alumni of the erstwhile Tata Institute of Sciences, which later became the Indian Institute of Science in Bangalore. Kamala followed family tradition and graduated in 1933 with a BSc degree in chemistry, principal and physics, subsidiary, from Bombay University. Kamala then applied to the Indian Institute of Science for a research fellowship, but her application was turned down by the then director and Nobel laureate Professor C.V. Raman on the grounds that women were not considered competent enough to pursue research. Kamala responded to the rejection by holding a satyagraha outside Professor C.V. Raman's office, which persuaded him to grant her admission, but with 3 conditions attached. She will not be allowed as a regular candidate and will be on probation for the first year. Also will be known throughout the campus after she succeed her work. She has to work late at night as per the instruction of her guide. She will not spoil the environment of the lab. She should not be a distraction to the male researchers. Although admittedly humiliated by them, Kamala agreed to the terms, thus becoming in 1933 the first woman to be admitted into the institute. Kamala's mentor at the IISc was Sri Srinivasaya. During her stint here, she worked on proteins and milk, pulses and legumes, a subject that was especially significant in the Indian context. Her dedication and research mettle influenced Professor Raman's decision to let women into the IISc a year after she completed her MSc degree with distinction in 1936. She was then invited to UK's Cambridge University to work under Dr. Derek Richter in the Frederick G. Hopkins Laboratory. She was a student of Newnham College, matriculating in 1937 and studying the biological natural sciences tripos. When Richter left, she worked under Dr. Robin Hill and studied plant tissues. From her work on potatoes, she discovered the enzyme cytochrome, which plays an essential role in the electron transport chain, the process by which energy is created for organisms, found in plants, human and animal cells. Her thesis on the subject was completed in 14 months and was 40 pages long, a departure from the usually much longer PhD submissions. After receiving her PhD, Kamala returned to India in 1939. As a supporter of Mahatma Gandhi, she wanted to come back to her country and contribute to the nationalist struggle. She was appointed professor and head of the Department of Biochemistry at Lady Hardinge Medical College in New Delhi. Later, she worked at the Nutrition Research Laboratory, Cooner, as assistant director, focusing on the effects of vitamins. She married M.V. Sahoni, an actuary, in 1947 and moved to Mumbai. She joined the Royal Institute of Science as a professor in the Department of Biochemistry, and worked on the nutritional aspects of legumes. Her eventual appointment to the position of director of the institute is believed to have been delayed by 4 years due to existing gender bias in the scientific community. During this period, Kamala and her students conducted important research on 3 groups of food items that are majorly consumed by financially disadvantaged sections of people in India. Kamala started work on nira, sap extracted from the inflorescence of various species of toddy palms, on the suggestion of then-President of India, Rajendra Prasad. She found significant quantities of vitamin A, vitamin C, and iron in the drink, and that these elements can survive concentration of nira into palm jaggery and molasses. Later studies indicated that the inclusion of nira in the diets of malnourished adolescent children and pregnant women from tribal communities as an inexpensive dietary supplement led to significant improvement in health. She was awarded the Rashtrapati Award for her work in this subject. Kalpana Chala was born on March 17, 1962, in Karnal of present-day Haryana, India, but her date of birth was later falsified by her family to July 1, 1961, to allow her to become eligible for the matriculation exam. As a child, she was fascinated by aeroplanes and flying. She went to local flying clubs and watched planes with her father. After getting a Bachelor of Engineering degree in Aeronautical Engineering from Punjab Engineering College, India, she moved to the United States in 1982 and obtained a Master of Science degree in Aerospace Engineering from the University of Texas at Arlington in 1984. Chala went on to earn a second master's in 1986 and a PhD in Aerospace Engineering in 1988 from the University of Colorado Boulder. In 1988, she began working at NASA Ames Research Center, where she did computational fluid dynamics, CFD, research on vertical and/or short takeoff and landing, VSTOL, concepts. Much of Chala's research is included in technical journals and conference papers. In 1993, she joined Overset Methods, Incorporated as Vice President and Research Scientist specializing in simulation of moving multiple body problems. Chala held a certificated flight instructor rating for airplanes, gliders and commercial pilot licenses for single and multi-engine airplanes, seaplanes and gliders. After becoming a naturalized U.S. citizen in April 1991, Chala applied for the NASA Astronaut Corps. She joined the Corps in March 1995 and was selected for her first flight in 1996. Her first space mission began on November 19, 1997, as part of the 6-astronaut crew that flew the Space Shuttle Columbia flight STS-87. Chala was the first Indian woman to go in space. She spoke the following words while traveling in the weightlessness of space: "You are just your intelligence." On her first mission, Chala traveled over 10.4 million miles, 16,737,177.6 kilometers, in 252 orbits of the Earth, logging more than 372 hours, 15 days and 12 hours, in space. During Sts-87, she was responsible for deploying the Spartan satellite, which malfunctioned, necessitating a spacewalk by Winston Scott and Takao Doi to capture the satellite. A 5-month NASA investigation fully exonerated Chala by identifying errors in software interfaces and the defined procedures of the flight crew and ground control. After the completion of STS-87 post-flight activities, Chala was assigned to technical positions in the astronaut office to work on the space station. In 2001, Chala was selected for her second flight as part of the crew of Sts-107. This mission was repeatedly delayed due to scheduling conflicts and technical problems, such as the July 2002 discovery of cracks in the shuttle engine flow liners. On January 16, 2003, Chala finally returned to space aboard Space Shuttle Columbia on the ill-fated Sts-107 mission. The crew performed nearly 80 experiments studying Earth and space science, advanced technology development, and astronaut health and safety. During the launch of Sts-107, Columbia's 28th mission, a piece of foam insulation broke off from the Space Shuttle external tank and struck the left wing of the orbiter. Previous shuttle launches had seen minor damage from foam shedding, but some engineers suspected that the damage to Columbia was more serious. NASA managers limited the investigation, reasoning that the crew could not have fixed the problem if it had been confirmed. When Columbia re-entered the atmosphere of Earth, the damage allowed hot atmospheric gases to penetrate and destroy the internal wing structure, which caused the spacecraft to become unstable and break apart. After the disaster, Space Shuttle flight operations were suspended for more than 2 years, similar to the aftermath of the Challenger disaster. Construction of the International Space Station, ISS, was put on hold. The station relied entirely on the Russian Roscosmos State Corporation for resupply for 29 months until shuttle flights resumed with STS-114 and 41 months for crew rotation. Chala died on February 1, 2003, in the Space Shuttle Columbia disaster, along with the other 6 crew members, when the Columbia disintegrated over Texas during re-entry into the Earth's atmosphere, shortly before it was scheduled to conclude its 28th mission. STS-107 Achievements. Congressional Space Medal of Honor, NASA Space Flight Medal, NASA Distinguished Service Medal.